I do.
Okay, I think if you just want to start at 11, you're all set up on our end, so.
I can't do it right now.
Should be good.
I have payment arrangement on my Verizon account and I won't let you do it. So I'm in the process of transferring it.
Gotcha.
And when I call it, yes, yeah, yeah. I'm just like, I'm like. I'm just trying to switch to a phone.
I also just removed the waiting room so people will auto join, so there shouldn't be any issues when we're presenting with people popping in.
So irritable today. Okay, how do you feel?
Hi, everybody. Sorry, it was black on my side and I didn't realize that y'all could already see me. So, hello. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, we can. We're gonna stay muted on our side, just. Some people on Zoom.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Okay, I'll share my screen here in just a little bit. But first wanted to ask, just everyone give a thumbs up, or if you're connected in the Zoom room in the chat, give a thumbs up if you have any kind of database program, any plan right now where you are working your sphere at all. Any kind of clear system around working it right now. Yes, no, some. Sweet. Okay. Follow-up boss. Awesome. So when I first started in real estate, I hated working my sphere because I always felt like super pushy, super salesy. Okay, another follow-up boss. Awesome. I didn't want to call anyone in my sphere because I was always afraid that I was bothering people, or just that, well, I made up a word for it. I called it MLME. I didn't want to sound like I was just selling one more thing to someone. So I just avoided working my sphere at all. I had Boomtown, I had a CRM that I could use if I wanted to, but I just wasn't even putting people in there or reaching out because I was just afraid about it, afraid of it. Until somebody stopped me, and I was walking through the lobby of our office one day, and I saw a few people that I had been really close to. Some were friends, a couple were friends from college, and then some other just good friends that I had never reached out to about real estate. And they were both in there talking to other agents and signing paperwork to work with them. And it was like a punch in my gut that I had never reached out to them, knowing that I could do a great job helping them and helping them find the things they need, but I never reached out. And part of it is because I had this script in my head that probably a lot of us, especially if you were ever at Keller, that's where I started. I was told that every single person that you have to ask them, whether it's a lunch or just talking to a friend on the phone, make sure in every conversation you say, hey, who do you know that needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? And I hated that. I wasn't going to do that. It felt so fake and forced, and like I was just there to get a piece of business, not really connect with my sphere, connect with the people. And I wasn't going to do it. So I refused to reach out to my database until I saw that, wait, there are people out there that I need to help. And in my first year as well, even without me trying, about 50% of my business still came from my database. So I was talking to a mentor of mine and was like, okay, I need to figure out a better system around this, a better mindset around it, because I can help people. I know that I can. I'm good at what I do. People need to know that I'm here and available to help them. So over the years, I have developed this system through a lot of trial and error. But it has really done wonders in my business and in a lot of agents that I coach. It has been the biggest, I mean, it doubled my production my first year that I implemented this, and it's just consistently gotten better over the years. So first of all, the reason working your database is so important, why it works so well, is because it has the highest rate of return and the lowest form of rejection. Nobody likes rejection. We all want people to say yes to us, but we tend to avoid working our sphere. So did y'all know, and I mean, I can't see everybody, so just kind of wave at me maybe, but anybody know the average rate of conversion on a cold lead? If you're circle prospecting, calling FSBOs, anything, anybody?
No, 10%.
That's very generous. So the average conversion rate on a cold lead is actually 2 to 3%. But if you are consistently reaching out to your database, the people that you already have relationship with, if you have a general plan, you're somewhat consistent, you should be getting an 8% conversion. If you use a very clear 36 touch plan, which is what we're going to talk about today, you should be getting, if you're executing it really well, about 20%. So if you have all these cold calls that you can make where you're going to get 2 to 3% conversion, or you can work your sphere at a really high level and get 20% conversion, This is so much smarter and working smarter, not harder, right? And you get to work with people that you already have a relationship with. People want to work with people they know, like, and trust, but they're only going to know that you are available to help them if you are consistently reaching out and if you're staying top of mind. So first, we got to start with building your database. You have to define it. When I first started, somebody told me, put every single person that you know into this database. And I didn't really like that because there were plenty of people that I had saved in my phone that I didn't want to talk to. There were plenty of people, I literally saved their numbers so I wouldn't answer the phone whenever they called. And I was not about to put them in my database and reach out to them. But I added them anyways because that's what I was told to do. So then every time my system popped up and said, hey, you need to call this person, I didn't do it. I would just reschedule it. I would delete it. I would just not do the task. And so then I'm telling my brain that I'm failing. I'm not doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing. Like these little micro failures is what they're called. And I was just consistently felt defeated around that because I just wasn't doing the things I was supposed to be doing. So I decided to scrap that and I created a new rule. So my rule around building my database is, would I have coffee with this person? Would I spend a little bit? It doesn't have to be dinner. That can be a lot. That can be a little too involved. But would I sit and have a cup of coffee with this person? And if the answer was yes, I'm going to put them in my database. I went through every social media connection, every friends from church, friends from past jobs, my hairdresser, anybody that you have any kind of connection with, would you sit and have a cup of coffee with them? If the answer is yes, put them in your database. And when you're adding them to your database, you want to make sure, obviously, their name, you want their phone number, you want their email address, you want their mailing address. Go a step above and beyond. And if you know birthdays or anniversaries, kids' birthdays, any kind of important details about them, put those notes in there. Follow Up Boss is an excellent place to do that. I'll show you here in a second. I'll share my screen and show a spreadsheet that I use for this full system. But just the more information you have about someone, the better you're going to be able to reach out to them. Now, if it's not somebody that you're going to have coffee with, if it's someone that if the name pops up and you don't want to talk to them, delete them from your database. Don't keep them in there. You're not going to talk to them. You don't need that negative reinforcement in your mind. So just trash it. Get rid of that. Also, don't rule somebody out of your database because you don't think that they would use you to buy or sell. Maybe their brother or sister-in-law is an agent. Maybe, I don't know, maybe where I am, it feels like everybody has probably 15 agents that they know. Don't rule somebody out just because you think they won't use you. A lot of agents, even if they know them, aren't reaching out to their database consistently. And even if they know that other agent, if you're the one that's consistently reaching out to them, they're going to build that trust more with you. And maybe they personally will not work with you because they're sister or whatever, but they sure can send you referrals. And that's ultimately what working your database is going to get you. It's not necessarily about that person that you're talking to. It is about making sure you are top of mind. So that way, whenever they are sitting and having lunch with a coworker or someone at a baseball game and their friend is like, oh, we're thinking about selling out our house. They're like, oh man, you need to meet my friend Jennifer. She's amazing. She's going to take great care of you. Let me introduce her to you. So that is ultimately the goal in working your database, is staying top of mind. So you are the person that they think of anytime they hear of someone that needs to buy or sell a home. So I am going to share my screen with you so I can show y'all this spreadsheet that I have used. So this is called it's called the Friend Connect. So, and I will share this with y'all as well, so you can, everybody can use this template. But this is how I started building my database. So in the Friend Connect, you see down here at the bottom is this Master Database tab. This is where you're just going to list out everybody in your database: name, first name, last name, phone, address, email. You can add additional columns you want if you want to go ahead and put birthdays or notes or anything in here. Just get them all listed, so that way we can start to organize it. This system, the Friend Connect, is the one that I initially implemented when I started working my database. That doubled my production. And we'll get into the how of that here in a second. But you got to get organized, get all the people in here. Next is down here at the bottom, after you have all of your people in your database, there are tabs across the bottom. There's actually 12 total groups. Let me see if I can scroll over. Whoop. You're going to take the master database and you're going to divide it by 12. You're not going to add any other groups. You're going to just keep the ones that are in here. And you're just gonna, there doesn't have to be any formal way of dividing it up. I literally take the first 10, put them in group 1, the second 10, put them in group 2. You just want to make sure everybody is in a group because this is going to tell you who to reach out to and when. And y'all, I know that this sounds like super, super simple. It's just a spreadsheet, but I promise you it works. It's usually the things that are the simplest that really make the biggest difference in our businesses. Over here in the notes section is where, as you communicate with people, which we'll get into here in a second, you can take notes on any little thing that they talk about. An example is a friend of mine. I was talking to her one day and she said that her mom was about to have surgery. Well, I put notes in there so that way, whenever she was going to take care of her mom, I could show up with dinner, sandwich things that are easy, just little things that you can do to just take your service, kind of that, if you've read Unreasonable Hospitality, taking notes so you can do those one-up things, those things that are really special and make you stand out. Also, I've had agents say, Audra, do you really need a spreadsheet to tell you when to talk to your friends? And the answer is 100% yes, because I know a lot of people, and I promise you, if I just am using my phone and scrolling through my phone as a way to keep in touch with people, there's people that I should be talking to that I'm not because they're not the first person I think of. We tend to stay in our little comfort zones. So if you're just relying on scrolling through your phone to reach out to your database, you're missing out on a lot of people because you're just reaching out to the same people that you're comfortable with. This is going to help you make sure that nobody falls through the cracks, that you are reaching out to everybody in a non-salesy way. I'll share some scripts here in a little bit, but none of it at any point am I asking anyone when I'm working on my Friend Connect. I'm not asking anyone for referrals. I'm not asking for business. I'm not saying, hey, who do you know that needs to buy or sell? Like the name says, it is literally just connecting with my friends. It is just a way to stay top of mind. So that way, when something does come up, they're going to think about me anyways. So, okay. So building your master database and then organizing it into these groups. After that, if you look down here at the bottom, it says weekly plan. This literally is going to tell you every single week who you need to be reaching out to and how. So in week 1, you're going to call everybody in group 1. You're going to send a text to everybody in group 10, make a handwritten note, send a handwritten note to everyone in group 7, and a social media DM, or if they don't have social media, an email to everyone in group 4. And so on. This works through the entire quarter. So that way you're reaching out to everyone in your database in 4 different ways every single quarter. So if you are looking at a full 36 touch plan that you need to really stay top of mind and reach your database really well, the Friend Connect takes care of 16 of those 36 touches. And it's so incredibly simple. When I was in full-time production, my database was around 300 people. It took me about 5 hours a week to work through this plan. And even if I didn't do anything else, even if I only did these 16 touches for the year, I got so much business out of just this. So whenever I'm making the calls, my calls are literally just, hey, how are you today? I've just been thinking about you and wanted to say hi. How's life? I would look at the notes that I made on someone. I would look at scroll through their social media and just see what's going on with life. Saw that your son hit his first home run last night. That's amazing. Congratulations, but y'all had so much fun. It's just a connection, right? It's just a short conversation just to connect with your friends, connect with the people that you have relationships with. I also do usually preface it with, hey, I only have a couple of minutes, because if you're like me, you can get on the phone and I could talk to somebody for hours and hours, and I didn't want to get stuck in that. So I would just tell them up front, I only have a couple of minutes. I'm driving to an appointment, but I was just thinking about you, wanted to say hi. How's life? How are things? How's family? Let's plan a time to get together sometime soon and really catch up, but really just wanted to check in and say hello. My text messages were the same thing. Thinking about you today, just want to send a message. Hope you have a great day. You can also do a video text. People like that. I do that for birthdays for sure. Just acknowledging them and saying hello, that means so much to people. Think about if someone ever sends that message to you, you get that phone call or you get that text message, and it's just, I was just thinking about you and wanted to say hi. Hope you're doing awesome. If you ever need anything, I'm here. Those little things are very valuable because we don't get a lot of that. We get plenty of spam text messages. We get plenty of, I mean, my phone today has been blowing up about a school party that's coming up. Are so inundated with so many other things. When it is just a, hey, how are you? I'm thinking about you. That really does touch somebody's heart and just puts you in a positive light in their mind, connects you to them at another level. My handwritten notes, and you'll notice all of these are pretty much the same script. My handwritten notes, I just make a quick card. Sometimes it's on branded stationery, but a lot of times I just have blank note cards that I use. And it is just, hey, thinking about you today. I hope you're having a great day. Hope the family's doing well. And that is it. Everybody likes getting cards in the mail because most of the time we get junk and bills, and getting something just specific for them that is just a hello is really nice. People like that. I actually probably get the biggest response from people from handwritten notes, and it is not, I don't put anything in it. It is not anything special. It's literally just, I'm thinking about you today and wanted to say hi. On the social media DMs, I scroll through and just see what's going on. And you can always share a post back to them. That's probably the easiest conversation starter. I share it back. I'm like, man, that vacation looks amazing, or congrats on the baseball game, or hope y'all had an awesome gymnastics meet. You can tell like what my kids' activities are because baseball and gymnastics is our life right now. But I just send them a message. That looks fun, or congrats on the promotion, whatever it is. It's just a way, again, that I'm staying top of mind, that I'm staying connected with them. And that is it whenever I'm having these conversations. I am not asking for business. I'm not saying, hey, have you been paying attention to the real estate market? It's literally just connecting with my friends, connecting with someone that I have a relationship with. And that's it. It makes it super easy, and it takes that salesy thing out of it that a lot of us worry about whenever we don't want to work our database because we don't want to sound salesy or pushy. This eliminates that because you're literally just reaching out to your people to connect with them. So now that you have your groups built, you've got your weekly plan, you're executing your weekly plan, there's another tab down here called the referral club. And this is actually my favorite part of my database system. I literally only allow people to be in here for a year. I keep track of it. If somebody sends me a referral, I put them in here. They have to actually introduce me to the person they're referring to. They can't just say, oh, hey, I sent your number to so-and-so, or I gave your card to somebody. They have to make an introduction either in a three-way text or by giving me the other person's phone number. So I can make sure that I'm going to reach out to them. So whenever I get that referral initially, I'm going to send a thank you note there's a tea place here that I like. I'll give them a free tea card or Starbucks gift card, just a drink, just something to say thank you. And then whenever that referral closes, then they're officially in the referral club. So what that looks like is over the course of a year, I do 4 events or gifts quarterly. I do something quarterly, just for the people in my referral club. So one time I got a case of one of my favorite books and I mailed that to everyone. I did a wine night for all the women one quarter. One of my favorites, I partnered with a local photographer. We set up a cute little, or she set up, not me, she set up a really pretty set. And we did like mini shoots for families. People would sign up for like 15-minute slots, and they would come in and get pictures. This was just for my referral club, and they knew it would come out in my newsletter or my weekly email that this is a 1-year thing. You send me a referral and you're in the referral club for 1 year. People loved it so much that they would call me and say, hey, I saw on Facebook you just did your last referral thing, but I didn't get anything. I guess my year's expired. What do I need to do to get back in? You send me another referral, and they would. This was the most fun. It's the people that support your business the most. Obviously, they're in your sphere, so you already have connection, but they're like your, somebody else calls it their street crew. The people that are out there really trying to help you build your business and sending it to you. And this is just a way for you to reward them. But it's awesome whenever you start getting people saying, hey, I want to be in that referral club. What do I need to do? Let me send you more referrals. And I would always tell them whenever they were at that fourth quarter mark, like, hey, thank you so much for supporting my business over this past year. This is your final referral club celebration. Remember, you can always get back in by sending more referrals. Thank you. Appreciate your support, that kind of thing. I'm not really in production as much anymore, but I still have people. I haven't done my referral club in a while, but I still to this day have people reaching out asking about it. And I love that. I recognize them in a different way now, but when I was in full-time production, this was my favorite thing to do, because people kept asking me how they could get more gifts, send me more business, and I'd be happy to give you some more gifts. Okay, at the beginning, I mentioned that if you are working your database at a really high level, so you are reaching out to everyone 33 to 36 times a year, then you should be getting that 20% return on your database. So let me change my screen over here really quick. It blacked out on me. So if the Friend Connect takes care of 16 of those 36 touches for the year, you now have to take that other 20 and build it out for yourself, for what works, what makes sense for you and your business. A couple of ideas around that is a monthly newsletter, whether that is printed or you do a digital version of that. The digital was my favorite. Client events, which as a team, y'all are already so great at anyways. The pickup date night that y'all did last week was awesome. I was jealous that I was down here. Take advantage of those things to add those touches to your database. So a client event, you have at least 2, but up to 3 touches per person, because you're going to call and invite them. You're going to hopefully see them at the event. But even if whether or not they come, you're going to give them a follow-up call, either thanking them for coming and being there. It was so great to see you. Or you're going to say, man, we missed you so much. We had such a great time. I'll make sure that you're on the list for the next one, though. It would be so much better if you were there, right? So if you take advantage of those, that's another touch to your database. Birthdays, anniversaries, holiday cards, pop buys, sending gifts. There are so many companies, so many things online where you can put in a list of people and they'll send little pop buys for you. They'll just drop it in the mail. Or even if you take your Friend Connect and divide it up to where maybe groups 1 through 6 you get done in the first half of the year, and then the last half of the year you get the other half. Any of these things are ways that you can get those extra touches in to get to that 36 touches. One of my favorites, actually, that another friend used to do, he would send out a weekly email. It was not anything fancy, not any kind of really pretty newsletter. It was just a typed email like, hey, here's what's going on in the market, or here's some really cool things happening in Lubbock right now, our favorite date night places. P.S. I'm still in real estate. If you need anything, let me know. Just a very subtle thing down at the end. But he was just really, really consistent with it. My only caution against doing a weekly email is a lot of people are like, well, that's 52 touches if I do it every week. I'm just going to do that and do nothing else. Don't do that, because people want to hear your voice. They want to see your face. You need to give them other opportunities to see you and connect with you, not just send the email. The email's great. Just don't fully rely on that. Of course, coffee dates, lunches, all of those things are touches. You just need to take you and your life and what works for you, and take your Friend Connect and then build out that last 20. The other thing to really keep in mind when you are working your database, a lot of agents, when they start really focusing on their sphere, it's really good for a couple of years. And then they hit like year 3 or 4, and all of a sudden it's like, where did my referrals go? Things are they just kind of stop. And it's because we tend to forget that we have to continuously grow our database as well. Your database is kind of like a house plant. It's going to do really well for a while without you messing with it, but eventually it needs to be fed. Eventually it needs some water. So what is your plan around adding people to your database to make sure that you don't have that slump? Things don't just die off. So whether that is past clients or being intentional about getting involved in things with kids' school or volunteering at different places. There's countless ways that you can be meeting people and adding to your database. Make a goal of adding someone to your database every day. Just one person. I promise you that every one of you could go out today and find at least one person that you can add into your database right now. Also, someone to add to your database, this might sound a little silly, add agents that you have done transactions with that went really well, that you're like, man, this would be a fun person to work with. Obviously, they're not going to send you business referrals, but they might be interested in coming over and joining you at EXP, at PHT. So make sure that you're reaching out to those people as well. It's also just more fun when we have good relationships with agents in our market. You all have those agents where you see them call you or text you that they have an offer, and it's like, oh, it's going to be one of those transactions, right? But then you have the agents that it's like, you get excited whenever you see that you're going to go show their listing or that they're sending you an offer. Put those people in your database as well. Keep those relationships going too. So yeah, that is my, in a nutshell, overall database plan. I promise it works. It sounds so incredibly simple. I had a couple of agents, they were a team. It was 2 girls. They came to me and said, we have all these people in our database. We don't really know how to reach out to them, how to really work our sphere. And I said, great, this is my specialty. This is this is the foundation of my business. So I share all of this with them, and they look at me and they're like, that's too simple. There's no way that can work. They kind of laughed at it. And I said, listen, just give me a week. Just start with the Friend Connect, get your database built out, start the groups. And in 1 week, you're not going to get to everybody because it's just those 4 groups. Work it for 1 week and see what happens. And so they kind of rolled their eyes at me, but they did. Got it all organized, started going through it, started having the conversations. They came back to me the following week and they apologized because in that 1 week of reaching out to their database and being intentional around it, they got 25 referrals in 1 week. I will say that's extreme. Those are really high numbers, but still the point of it is it works. Just because it is a really simple system doesn't mean that it's not going to work. So that is it. I wanted to make sure that we had some time for any questions, any thoughts or anything. Any questions? Oh, do I tell people? Okay, I'm pulling up the chat. Do I tell people? Oh, okay. So the question in the chat, do you tell people you are doing the referral club and what it entails, or wait for them to give a referral organically? I tell people. I put it in my newsletter that I sent out. I would post about it on Facebook. Every closing that I had, I would make sure my client, buyer, seller knew about the referral club. I also, with any of my clients, I use the promise script. If you have heard of that, I promise them, in a nutshell, I promise them a really excellent experience. I'm going to make sure I am doing everything I can to make sure this transaction is amazing. And I asked them in return, can you promise me that if things are going so well as I expect, that you will also give me a referral? So referrals are something that I just kind of consistently talk about with my clients as well. So yes, I let people know anytime I do one of the events or gifts or anything in the referrals, I'm posting about it. I'm putting it in my newsletter, like, hey, here was our latest thing. Here's how you can get involved. The rule is just that there has to be a three-way text, or they have to send me their information. It is not enough for them to say, oh, I gave your number to so-and-so, because then there's no guarantee that you'll have that opportunity to talk to that person. As long as I'm getting their number, then I know that they're going to at least hear from me a couple of times. So do I think creating a dedicated Facebook page would be a good idea? I think that's an excellent idea. You could create a Facebook page or group all around your referral club. And that would be a great way to, I think definitely the group you could do a page about it, and maybe in the group, like you could create a separate group. Sorry, I'm thinking through this as I'm talking, but create a face to advertise, or a page to advertise it, and then a group for the people that are actually in the club. So that way you can just use the page as a way to, here's how you can get in the group. So what else? What other questions do y'all have, or thoughts around working?
I have a question. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Liz Gust. I know some agents really want to do this, and I think some people or some of us might be thinking, well, how much is this going to cost, or what's the biggest ROI, or how can I start small with this so I don't have $5,000 to jump into this? What are 2 things I could do this year for the biggest ROI to kind of launch this, and what would you suggest they are?
The best number one thing is going to be the Friend Connect. That is free. You have the I'll make sure that y'all have the spreadsheet template after we get off the call. But that is it's completely free to make calls and texts. And okay, you do have to buy some note cards and some stamps to mail out your handwritten notes, but that's going to be very minimal. Even the referral club, you can make the expense on that very minimal. Partner with vendors that you work a lot with. Lender partners are great, insurance companies, home inspectors, anybody that also wants to have access to your people. They will help you with the referral club too. The photographer that I used, she didn't charge me, because her doing those gave her the opportunity to meet all these families that were signing up. And so it was free for me. All I had to do was get the people there. So don't overlook those partnerships as well. But if you're just like very, very minimal, do the Friend Connect and do a weekly email, do a monthly newsletter. You can do that. But you can do Sendinblue or MailChimp. You can do that for free up to a certain number of people and create your own newsletter that way. But those are ways that you can start now. I'm also very cheap. I'm not going to put a whole lot of money into it. So I would get creative on how I can do it for minimal expense.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. What else? Does anybody have, oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying, I know there are probably other questions.
Yeah, don't be shy. I'm an open book. Y'all can ask me anything.
Can you explain again, or go into a little more detail about how you group in that spreadsheet? Like why there's group 1, group 2, group 3?
Oh, the groups. Yes. So you literally just take your master database tab and divide it by 12. Don't overcomplicate it. Like literally just take your first, if you've got 120 people, you're going to have 10 people in every group. Take your first 10 people, put them in group 1. Your second 10 people, put them in group 2 until everybody is in a group. And then just make sure as you're growing your database, as you're adding people to that master database tab, that you are putting them in a group as well. But just keep it super, super simple. Of course. Mina in the chat says, do I have any scripts that I can share? Yes, I do. I can tell me who the best person to send the template to is, and I can get the template and the scripts out to y'all this afternoon.
Like Holly.
Okay. Let me make a note of that. Okay, send.
I have a quick question, Audra.
Absolutely.
Do you have people, or did you have people in this database where you would totally text them, you would totally go to coffee with them, but maybe that person in particular, it would be odd if you called them on the phone and left them a message? Because I have people that are like that for sure.
Yes, and I would do it anyways.
Okay.
So I know that's not the, most comfortable answer, right? I would do it anyways because I want to stay top of mind. I want to build that relationship. And I think through text or email, there is a lot that there's emotion, there is tonality, all of this stuff that is missing, that I think a phone call, even if it's just a quick 5-minute, 2-minute, hey, just wanted to say hi really quick. I know you're busy, but just thinking about you, that takes the relationship it's just at a different level, right? Having
Okay.
actual voice to voice.
Yeah.
Also, if there are people that you're like, man, I would totally like to reconnect with this person, but gosh, I haven't talked to them in years. It's going to be weird if I reach out. Call them and apologize for not keeping in touch. That's an excellent way to re-engage your database, to reconnect with people that maybe you've fallen out of touch with. But just call and say, hey, I am so sorry that it has been 2 years or 5 years, however long, since we talked. And I just was thinking about you. And man, I'd love to get together and have a cup of coffee and just catch up on life. That's an excellent way to re-engage without it being weird. It would be kind of awkward if you just all of a sudden started texting that person or sending them things. That would be kind of weird. But if you just make that initial phone call and be like, man, I'm so sorry that I haven't been literally what I say is, I'm so sorry. I have not been a better friend. I want to fix that. I want to catch up and see how things are going. When can we have coffee?
Awesome. Thank you.
Any more? Anybody think it's like too simple? Like, oh, that can't work. I get that a lot, but I promise it does. And I would say the Friend Connect itself is a 12-week system. Then you just start it over. Try it out for 1 quarter and see what happens. See what your results are. Track it. Let me know. I'm curious. But just try it for 1 quarter and see what kind of an impact it makes on your business. Any more questions?
I think we're good. Yeah.
Well, thank y'all. Thank you so much. I will get this all sent over to Holly. And if anybody has any questions on getting it set up or getting it going, I'm always here to reach out anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
y'all.
for your time.